Alright, man, we keeping the football content going. Now, I got a lot of videos to drop, but I seen some people making videos on this that I didn't personally agree with. Now, I'm not going to put in all them extra filler strikers. We're going to rank the top 21 strikers. Now, it's really going to be a top 20, but I want to have a best and a worst tier. So y'all going to be able to see who I think is the best striker. I don't think that's really a debate. And I don't think you should be in the tier with anybody else. And we're going to see who the worst striker out of all the guys I'm going to actually end up breaking. If y'all do want more of these, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. All that good stuff out the way. Let's hop into it. Hopping into it. We got the tiers, best 2 to 5, 6 to 10. We ranking them. Let's get it going. Haaland started out. I didn't do this on purpose. This is literally how it was. I took out some of the guys I didn't really feel like wasting my time ranking because that's just what it is. We're going to be ranking the actual guys. So Haaland, you kind of already know where he's going best. He's the best in the world, I would say. I would say if I'm picking any striker right now, I'm taking Haaland. Even Kane, even Mbappe. I think Mbappe is more of a left winger. I think if we have Kane, Mbappe, Haaland, I think they all can start. You know what I'm saying? I think you put that man Kane in the 10. Put that man Haaland as a striker. Put that man Mbappe on the left. I think you cooking at that point. Y'all see my team of the season. I think I cooked. I ain't gonna lie. I think I cooked. But honestly, I just think Haaland just has those striker traits that you really just want. And with him improving build up, yeah, I don't really, if he keeps doing that, it's really not gonna be no holes. Like, he can score those crazy goals, he can score those simple goals, he can score pretty much any type of goal that you need a striker to get, he pretty much can do right now. He's on that level. Now, if his level kinda does drop, because he is up right now, but all three are up right now. So I think Mbappe is kinda simmering down while the other two are keep going up. But yeah, Haaland is inevitable right now, for sure. Then we have Mateus Cunha for United. Honestly, I think Cunha is a little overrated. I think in the game against Liverpool, I'm seeing a lot of United fans praise him for that game. He was not good in the first half at all. Second half, okay. Like, it wasn't even the whole second half he was doing this, by the way, where he was holding up play, helping people, like, wasting clock and stuff like that, okay. But, bro, he's not been great at all. And the biggest issue why Liverpool actually created as many chances as they did was, if you watch the game, Cunha does nothing in the press. He's literally the entire whole of the defense. Like, everybody else puts all this effort defensively, and then Cunha is always either lackadaisical or just late in the press. Like, he is the entire whole of the defense. And the reason why some of the things that Liverpool was able to do in that game to get these chances was a lot to do with Cunha. So I did like at times where they had, instead of putting Cunha at the top, they was putting him to the left. That wasn't working. When they put him to the top in the defense, it sometimes worked. But then you would see Mbuemo go to the top, and it looked a lot better too. It would just, if you put him on the left, it's a hole. If you put him at the top, you pretty much just have everything behind him. I think that's probably the best way they can do it. But we're going to talk about Sesko. He's just a much better player in the press. And I'm going to be honest. What's Mason Mount, when he's on that left wing, that defense is a lot more solid. No matter who's in that midfield, no matter who's in there as striker, it's a lot more solid when it's Sesko, him on the left, and Mbuemo on the right. That's just my opinion. But I do think for what a striker is nowadays, you do have to be able to press. But I do think there are things that he can do. But the thing is with Sesko, that also is an issue. I do think with him being on a team like this, where I think on Wolves, you can get away with these things. But he's a very, very selfish player. And there's some things that he just has some pretty interesting decision making. I think he can make these passes. I think he can make these dribbles. The thing is, he's very talented, but he is a very, very selfish player. So honestly, I can't even say he's top 10, because genuinely, he has so many flaws that when it comes to being on like a top end team, he just can't really do. He just genuinely can't really do. And he's talented, but he's not talented enough to do it by himself, because it's obviously not working if he tries to do it by himself this year. It's just not. So I gotta say he's probably around this range. Then we have Izak. Izak this year has not been great. Being real, he has not been great. Before this season, I probably would have had him stamped 2, maybe even arguably 1, if we doing that off last year, because Haaland was his usual self. But Haaland is arguably better than ever, and Izak is arguably worse than we've seen in the past couple years. But I do think, looking at how Newcastle's looked with their new striker, that might be his system situation. I'm going to say Izak I'm going to say Izak is top 5 still. But he is really kind of fortunate. He's kind of in a fortune. Honestly, I'd probably say 6 to 10. I'd probably say 6 to 10. Because he still shows the quality. He has just not got the job done. And the game against United, he wasn't getting no love in that game. So it was pretty much like he was invisible. And that was really because he really didn't get any touches, to be real. Now, I won't lie. Ekitike has just been better than him. Like, ekitike kind of just forces his hand. He forces his hands in terms of the involvement. João Pedro, both of those guys kind of force their own impact on the game. Izak so far has not really done that, which has kind of separated him from them, even though I don't think João Pedro has had the craziest year either, but he just, you can see his impact even when he doesn't leave with a GA, I say. Visa hasn't even played, so I would probably have to say 11 to 15 for now. I'd probably put him lower, but he hasn't played. Solanke hasn't played. Probably put him in the same tier as Visa for now. Marmoush is playing out of position for the most part, left wing, and he's not going to really be able to play striker. The only position he really could play is at the 10, and he don't play there. And with Cherky coming back now, and he looked very good at the end of the game, Marmoush is just really out of position, but I really do think Marmoush is one of the top 10 strikers in the world. Or not world, but in the league. Last year, at the end of the year, when he was getting those opportunities to play striker, he actually looked, he looked like he fit in that way that they were playing better than Haaland. Now, with the way that the city is playing, where they're kind of playing more so like a counter-type team, Marmoush cannot play striker for them. He can't. He would not be able to play nowhere near. No, I don't think anybody in the world probably could play it to the level. Maybe Mbappe. That's about it. Because he got that speed too. But Haaland has the speed and the size with arguably better finishing ability. Haaland is just a different beast. I would say Marmoush is 6 to 10. Ekitike is clearly 2 to 5. He might be 2. I'm looking at this. It's debatable with him and somebody else that's on this list that's new. He's in that 2 to 5 though, for surely. 2 to 5 for sure. Then we got João Pedro. Oh, let me talk about Ekitike a little bit more. Ekitike, whether you need him to press, whether you need him to help in the build up, whether you need his finishing, whether you need him to be a playmaker, he's really able to do everything. Like, and another thing I've seen with some of these newer strikers, their touch has been abysmal half the time, and it's like a lose possession battle. They just keep losing possession over and over and over. Ekitike, when he loses possession, it's really due to just getting in situations that defense just play good defense. It's not really, majority of the time, it's not really him getting a great chance and he's just wasting it. He's not really wasteful. That's what I would say. He's not wasteful at all. So he pretty much is a really, really good all-around striker. I wouldn't compare him to Haaland. I would honestly compare him to Izak last year, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I would say 2 to 5. João Pedro, I would say 2 to 5. He probably at the back end of 2 to 5, but I don't even think he's really. I think he's a striker, but he's not a striker in the way that they're using him. I think he would probably fit better as a 10, but then where would Cole Palmer play? If Cole Palmer is on this team, you got Esteval, you got João Pedro now. Where would Cole Palmer play? Because those are his best 2 positions, the 10 or the right wing. And Esteval, Celtics fans love him. He has a lot of potential. And then you got João Pedro. I think João Pedro just has to be the 9 in this situation. And if they have Cole Palmer and Esteval, I think in the 10 and the right wing, I think João Pedro can be fine. But if one of those 2 guys aren't there, it's just not going to look. He's not going to be able to get those GA. But he's still going to be very, very good in terms of helping build up, holding up play, all that different stuff. And he's still going to probably get not a lot. He's probably going to still get GA. It's just not going to be as consistent. That's what I'll say. Then we got Richarlison. It really does depend on what Richarlison you're getting. I'll probably put Richarlison 16 to 20 because he has played over these 2. Because availability does matter. These 2 guys just haven't played. And then we got Havertz. Honestly, usually coming into the year, Havertz gets a lot of slander. To start the season, he looked pretty good. He definitely looked better than the other striker that they picked up, which we gonna talk about. But Havertz is a weird one because he got the size, he got the build up, he just don't have the finishing. And that's kind of the bare minimum, I would say. Yeah, that is kind of the bare minimum, I would say. But he looked like he was gonna be set to improve on that this year. So honestly, I would probably say Havertz is 11 to 15, top of 11 to 15, because he's also been injured. But that's what I'll say. Then we got bro that was from Botafogo that Nottingham Forest bought. He was very good in Club World Cup, but he's not been that crazy for Nottingham Forest. I would say 16 to 20. Then we got Mateta. Mateta has been better. Mateta and Izak, he's been better than Izak this year. Is he a better player than Izak? We're basing it off this season. He's had a better season. Is he a better striker than Izak? I would say no. I would say no. I would say no, personally. I would say no. Chris Wood, I think Chris Wood is better than everybody in 11 to 15. I think with the new coach change, being real, with the new coach change, he's probably going to go start playing better. These last 8 games hasn't really been a system that really fits Chris Wood in any shape or form. I think with the new manager change, I think he's going to be kind of back to his form. Maybe not as good as last year, but getting closer to that than what he has been so far this year. Then we have Xerxes. I actually think Xerxes is kind of overhated a little bit. I would put Xerxes kind of like a little bit here. Yeah, kind of similar situation to like a Havertz, in my opinion, where he just don't have the finishing, but he can do pretty much everything else. Maybe not as athletic as Havertz though. Then we have woltemade. I think woltemade, real conversations with ekitike. I think ekitike probably does have a little bit more pace, but I think woltemade may be better in build-up. I think woltemade might have better finishing, which is kind of crazy. He's supposed to not be as good of a finisher, so that's kind of crazy. He's supposed to be like a rusty finisher. He's been, besides Haaland finishing, when he gets those chances, he buries it. Like, he technically super good. I'm gonna say ekitike over him, because the only reason ekitike is slowed down is because Izak started playing. But woltemade has been very, very good. And I've seen a couple guys do some rankings on him, and they had him very low, which is very, very confusing to me. If we doing it based off what we watched and his stats, because a lot of people just like going off stats. So he got the stats, and if you watch him, he looks amazing in every game. When they played against Arsenal, he was dominating for the most part. The reason why that game they was winning, I'm not even talking about just the goal. Like, the reason why they was winning, because every single time they lofted the ball up, he was able to hold the ball for significant. He was the same thing that people were praising Cunha for in the game against Liverpool. woltemade was doing that even better in that game. He was. Now at the end, it just what happened at the end. Just what happened at the end. I'm gonna be honest, but scoring on Arsenal is no feat that you should be frowned upon. There's only a couple guys that's on this list that scored on them. One being the person at the top, and woltemade. Then we have Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins, in my opinion, is an underrated striker. I probably say 6 to 10 for him. I put him over Chris Wood, 11 to 15. I think Ollie Watkins is 11 to 15 personally. Then we got Gabriel Jesus. I think Gabriel Jesus is another 11 to 15 situation. I would put him behind Havertz. Probably right there with Cunha. Right there with Cunha, to be honest. I think he's a guy that can do a lot of the things. He just doesn't. He doesn't score. He doesn't have great finishing. But he's really, really good tech. I think him and Cunha is actually very, very similar, to be real. Then we have Delap. I think Delap was kind of overrated in the summer, but the thing is, he's young and he has potential. But honestly, Club World Cup, he was actually a lot better than I really expected. He got hurt early in the year, but if he does come back, then it kind of does get questionable. How much time is he going to play? Does João Pedro now play the 10? And now you have a whole situation where, like, I don't like Cole Palmer playing left wing, but then maybe you start playing Cole Palmer left wing out of necessity, because then João Pedro in the 10, Delap is the 9, then you got Esteval on the right. I don't really like that for Cole Palmer, to be real, but maybe that's what you do. I don't know. I would say Delap, personally, I probably would put him here. He's better than I really honestly expected. I would actually have to lower Cunha. Oh. Okay, so, out of all the people, okay. Low key, some of these guys probably going to have to go up. I'm looking at it already. So Izak probably got to go up. Izak probably got to go up. Ali Watkins probably got to go up. Cunha probably got to go up. All right. Sesko. I think Sesko, honestly, he had a really shaky start. And I was a person that really didn't like him a lot because a lot of the games, he was the main person. Same thing as what I was saying about woltemade. He would like be kind of wasteful with his chances. He would be very, very wasteful. Not even kind of. He would be very, very wasteful. But the last couple games, especially since, was that Brentford? The Brentford game, he's been a little bit better. But Brentford, he was very wasteful. The goal he got against Brentford was a really bad goal. I won't lie. But I think that did do something to his confidence because ever since that game, he's been a lot better. Not the Fulham game. Who was that against? Was that Sunderland? Sunderland, he was actually really, really good. He was really, really good. Then when he came on the pitch for Liverpool at the end of it, he was very, very good. He didn't get a goal, but he was very, very good still. So, honestly, I think he's been improved since that Brentford game, personally. And I really was kind of like a Sesko hater somewhat because a lot of the United fans be kind of gassing it. I would personally say he's been here. I think Sesko has actually started to kind of turn it around for me personally. I think he actually has, personally. And then we got Colomani. Yeah, one of these dudes are going. I'm gonna put both of these in worse because of injuries. So we're gonna say 19. We're gonna say 19, and we're gonna call this injury at that point because they're gonna only be here because injured. So yeah, we're just gonna put them there just because they're injured. Colomani, I probably gotta put here for now because we haven't. Okay, he may just go injured too, but I think he could actually change Spurs season when he starts playing. When he starts playing, I think that could be a big deal for them. I think he could be actually nice for them. He is injured, right? I haven't seen him play, so I'm guessing he's injured. If he's just not playing because he's not playing, then whole different discussion. But I think Colomani actually could change their season. I think he could actually be really good for Spurs because their striker situation with Richarlison, Solanke, Tail, it's not very good to me. I think if they actually get a real competent striker with Kudus is amazing. Kudus is amazing. If they can get a real striker, that could be interesting. And I'm gonna be honest. I think the game against was that Everton. Who was that they beat? And they really didn't deserve it. I think it was Leeds. He was not good in that game, bro. He was not good in that game. Frank actually covered up for a lot of his flaws. He was very wasteful in that game. He did some pretty bad things, and people were saying he was good. The next game, he kind of does the same thing, and people was killing him for it. So I don't really understand. Yeah, you won one game, you lose the other game. One game he was still bad, but you thought he was good. I don't really get that type of stuff. Then we got Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres is pretty bad. See, Gyökeres is the opposite of a lot of players on this list. Like Gabriel Jesus, Cunha, Xerxes, Havertz. He's the opposite of a lot of these guys on this list. He is literally the most wasteful player you will ever watch. But he has some of the best finishing in the league. He's one of the best finishers in the league. That's just what it is. He's going to be one of the best finishers in the league. Now, I don't think he's going to get a lot of goals, to be real. I think, honestly, starting out the year, I thought he would probably be before the big games, before the season started. And then I was like, oh, he's a lot worse than I thought he was outside of finishing. So I'm like, in the big games, he might not be useful at all. They may got to just go with Havertz. And then I saw in the small games, he had a big game against, I think, Leeds. And I'm like, oh. Because I think the thing with Arsenal, they weren't that consistent against these smaller teams. So maybe he's going to be big in these games. And then he starts not being that good against those teams outside of that one game. And even that game, he had 2 goals. I think it was more so because he had a penalty. Now I'm at the point where I don't know what games he's going to be very useful for in this Premier League. Because the way that they play is not really suited to him. This is a possession defensive team. He is a counter-attacking player. He lives on the counter. They don't really do that. And a lot of these opportunities that he's getting, he's very, very wasteful. Very wasteful. He's probably a top 5 finisher in the league. He's probably a top 5 finisher. But in terms of overall striker, I'd probably say, honestly, I might even put the Lap over him, but the Lap has been injured, so I'll give Gyökeres the edge, and I'll say he's 10. I would say he's 10. His finishing is just poor. It's just poor. So, or not finishing, but everything outside the finishing is just poor. Like, He's not like a hold-up play player. He's not a build-up play player. He's not going to give you that. He's not going to have great touch. He's not going to have great technique. He's just going to be a great finisher. And even that this year, he's been a little rocky. But I do think he's a good finisher. I don't think that's really... I just think that the opportunities that he's had when he has actually tried to finish stuff, it's not been great. It's not been suited to how he needs to play. So, yeah, I just don't think he went to the team that really was for his needs. I think if you put him on a team like Newcastle, he would have been good. I think you put him on a team like swap out woltemade with gyokeres, swap out woltemade with ekitike. Maybe not. Well, yeah, Liverpool kind of do live on the counter too. So yeah, I think you swap him out with even swap him out with. I mean, come on, bro. Haaland on any team. I don't know. I think he would. I think the way City's playing right now with the counter, gyokeres would be good. Would he be Haaland? Where they're kind of really solely dependent on Haaland to score goals. I don't think gyokeres will keep working like that. Maybe just woltemade and ekitike. Maybe more so woltemade, to be real, because even Izak is not working with Liverpool right now. So maybe just woltemade. Because I'm not gonna lie, Newcastle, that system just gives their strikers so many opportunities, so many. And if they just had a striker to start the year, they would be a lot higher in the table. But just not what happened. But yeah, that's my striker tier list. I do want more videos like this. Make sure you like the video. I may do like all the world midfielder tier list. So if y'all do want that, I think that'll be very interesting when we can start ranking guys like the Vitinhas, the Declan Rices, the Caicedos. Man, that would be a very, very interesting video. The Jude Bellinghams. Y'all do want that. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe. All that good stuff out the way. Do further ado, man. It's your boy Fitz. I'm out of here.
Tell them to bring me my money. Yeah!